Hello everyone, this is Professor M.G.Burns and I'd like to welcome you to my new video covering the coronavirus outbreak. This is a once-in-a-lifetime crisis, a pandemic with multiple implications at a global and personal level. My goal is to provide you with helpful tips, guidelines, best practices in order to mitigate the challenges. So hopefully we as one, the whole community, our nation, we can all pull it through together. Just think that the whole world, everyone on this planet is concerned about the very same thing, the coronavirus. In this video, I use my knowledge of the ancient Greek language to explain important medical terms and what this virus means for all of us. Since the coronavirus topic is crucial, I need to disclaim that I'm not a doctor. So I have to very responsibly claim what I can do, what I know, and what I don't. I'm a transportation professional with over 20 years of experience in the transportation of hazardous materials. In fact, I created two manuals, Hazardous Materials and Personal Safety and Social Responsibilities. Both of these manuals were submitted and approved by the US Coast Guard. In addition, I published a couple of books related to the topic from a hazmat perspective or a regulatory perspective. One book is the Logistics and Transportation Security, and the other one, Managing Energy Security. So it's all about the chemistry, the hazardous materials, the safety and security component, the regulatory framework. So we're going to be talking about disinfectants as well, and hazardous materials is all about that. So all the work and all the components which I reference here in my videos are based on authoritative sources. The World Health Organization, the US CDC, the EPA. So everything comes from government and official sources. I want you to check out this link in particular, CDC symptoms. It's very important. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, call your doctor at once. To protect yourself and your family and the community, but also contain this pandemic, avoid public places and limit contact with other people unless absolutely necessary. So if you need to go to work, if you need to go food shopping, anything that is absolutely necessary. And we read a lot of articles about what happened in Italy and other parts of the world where in the beginning when children didn't have to go to school, but instead of staying at home, they went to public places. They were playing out in the streets and then they were going back to the grandparents. So what I'm trying to say is keep this pandemic contained, try to avoid these, public places, public transportation where necessary. Here is a list I've created as the basic guidelines for every person. Follow the government guidelines and announcements. Every country is, the regulations, the rules are harmonized with the World Health Organization. Here in America, we have the CDC and we have the EPA, many other departments, agencies, and so on. So according to your country, follow those rules. Use rational thinking, be strategic, and don't panic. We have seen anxiety and panic through the hoarding, the overstocking, overbuying at all these food stores. I've been taking pictures from my local grocery store every single day for the past week. And every single day, things get worse and worse and worse. And although the stores replenish, people are in this anxiety, this panic, and the effort to just save something, and be proactive. If you do this rationally in order to be proactive, this could be okay up to the point where you don't overstock in order to resell for profit. And as long as you don't overstock at the expense of other fellow citizens and other people that are trying to buy something, and they end up with empty shelves and not much to buy. So we are not allowed to deprive other people because we are just in an anxious mode. And one more thing, follow the rules of hygiene. Wash, clean, sanitize. This is very important. And another thing, again, avoid public places. Here is a list of different departments and agencies within the US. I'm sure that different countries have their own different departments. The point of this slide is just to show that different aspects of the government and state authorities and regional authorities have this complex mechanism. Everybody's working on different aspects of it. The medical aspect, the recovery aspect, the prevention aspect, perhaps innovating, finding this new vaccine, and the supply chain component, the logistics component, the public safety component. So we can embrace this from many different perspectives. So we have a government mechanism which works perfectly, and we should consult. Every time you have a question, just go back to these sources, to these websites, to figure out what the official guidelines are. And again, you have another list here, different government initiatives and resources within the US. So the CDC provides a link explaining what these different government departments, agencies, and offices are doing to protect our people from the virus. Every different authority, different industry professionals as well, community leaders, play their own part in this universal effort of eradicating the virus. So hopefully each one of us, you as well, become a leader in order to address the challenges. If you help your family, help your community, help anyone in need, different people have different talents. That's the bottom line. So if each one of us tries to work well together with each other, then we are going to get the best out of this experience. And since knowledge is power, this video and my series of videos seek to inform you about different initiatives and different thoughts about how to help the situation. Do these pictures look familiar to you? This was actually a picture that I took back in March the 10th, 2020. So the bottom line here is don't panic, be proactive. Store enough supplies, not because you're in panic, but because perhaps, okay, if you would like to have something extra, if the prices, you fear that the prices will increase, but keep it contained. Again, until March the 10th here in Texas, there were no restrictions as to the items you could purchase. But you could see there was scarcity in disinfectants, empty shelves, just for disinfectants in the beginning. One day later, March the 11th, there was a limit as to the items you could buy per household. The limit started with bleach, wipes, hand sanitizers, latex gloves, rubbing alcohol. 2 days later, the limit extended to food, which I found most alarming. And it's an indicator people are hoarding. What is saddening is to see that people go back home empty-handed because some other people just thought, okay, I'm just going to empty the shelves. So any kind of imbalance at a social level, like people that just went there first and they just emptied the shelves, that doesn't feel right. Now, I named this video, It's Greek to Me. You know that I'm Greek and I'm fluent in ancient Greek as well. So many of the medical terms we use to describe this virus derive from ancient Greek language. So I just wanted to make this comparison because it might stick better to our mind if we knew what all these words, what this medical jargon means. So endemic is a disease within the community. In ancient Greek, endemos, endemia, which means within the community. Exactly the same. Epidemic, a widespread, sudden increase in the number of cases of a disease in the community. By widespread, we mean above what is normally expected. And in the ancient Greek language, epidemos, epidemia, upon the community. That's spread. Pandemic. This is an epidemic that has spread around the world or in multiple regions or continents. Again, pandemos, pandemia, widespread upon the community. And here I've created this diagram. You can see the endemic here. The bar is lower. This is sporadic, low impact, therefore not as alarming. An epidemic is more alarming, and yet you see the V shape. I mean, it's more contained, more clustered, and yet relatively acute, more alarming than the endemic. And third, foremost, the pandemic here. So this is longer term, more unpredictable, more impactful because it pertains to multiple regions. And I've created a set of maps where you can see what the diagram reflects. First, the endemic, the little yellow stars. These are the random, sporadic, low impact, therefore not as alarming. Next stage, epidemic. So you have something acute, something clustered, therefore more alarming, however, not widespread. In the third case, pandemic, this is alarming, this is widespread. It affects multiple regions, more impactful and unpredictable, harder to contain. More terms again. Literally, many of these terms make so much sense if you break down the word, you know, the prefix, the suffix. So sterilization is the process which eliminates or kills bacteria or other harmful microorganisms. Remember, sterilizing happens both upon our bodies and upon the surfaces and all the places, our home, our offices, so the physical environment. Sterilization in ancient Greek, the word is styrosis. So this is all about eradicating, killing some organisms. Disinfectant, so again, to disinfect, this, which means, well, the same thing like in English, okay? This and theo. So this means I eradicate living organisms. Next word, antiseptic, which has to do with skin disinfectants applied to the body. So in ancient Greek, antisepsis. And this means the prevention of the growth of microorganisms. And again, the ancient Greek word sepsis comes from the verb sipo, which means decay, the rotten, okay, biological decay. So this ancient Greek etymology or analysis of the medical terms suggests that we need two types of sterilization. On one hand, antiseptic, anything that has to do with the body of a living organism, and disinfectant for your home, the killing of the virus. But what does this all mean to you? Your shopping list and your efforts to protect your home, your family, and your workspace from the virus. All of this is coming up next in my next video, Preparedness and Social Responsibility. Thank you for watching.